Shalom. Call Yahawah Shah. Shalom to the look. Now I'm making this video because I met this woman the other day, and just our conversation and the inspiration to make this. And I also seen this online too, back to back too. I know it was a reason for me to see that. So she asked me what, basically what I believe in, and I went into it and was giving her the information that I know, and not my opinion. So the question that she asked was, what are we gonna do? Because it's obvious who's running the world right now. Like the scripture saying in the book of Job, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and who is the wicked? In the book of Malachi, talk about Esau being a border of wickedness. So who is Esau today, and who is running the world today? We don't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. What we do as men, though, is push the word of the Most High, call on him every day. Now, don't miss a day. Send out them prayers, light up the incense or whatever, and call him. And he hear that, man. Certain stuff you ask, it may not come instantly, but there's some stuff that come instantly. So we have different accounts though, and different scriptures that talk about how he was there for us in the past as testimonies of faith. And even now, you have men that go through situations now. They can give testimonies. Oh, I'm trying to get this insert lit all the way. Yeah, men that can give testimonies now about certain stuff that they be going through, and he sustained them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna pull some precepts that I got, and I'm gonna just let some other ones that come to my mind. I'll get them as well. But this one right here, this in the book of, let's see, this in the book of Exodus chapter 14, verse 14. It says, Yahawah will fight for you. You need only to be still. And some people see that and be ignorant and be like, oh, so that means just don't do nothing. No, that's not exactly what it's talking about. With certain stuff that Esau wants you to go do, like taking up arms, trying to go fight them, putting militias together and all that shit. That's not what we're supposed to do. Because the Most High, he fighting for us. When you look at the world, look at the world. I was looking at some other videos yesterday. You got earthquakes hitting all over the place, storms breaking out all over the fucking place. Simultaneously, you got shit burning up. And this shit is called, it says we're in a global climate holocaust. But wait a minute. The real people that the Holocaust took place against, not them Amalekites, the real Holocaust, the transatlantic slave trade, the siege and destruction of the tribes that was already over here. That Holocaust took place too. The scriptures talk about this land being built with blood. I better let me get that precept because I don't want to butcher it. Let me get that. Let me find this precept. It's the book of Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 12. It says, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and established a city by iniquity. This whole fucking country was established that way. So the people that established it that way, they gotta pay for that. And this is how they paying for it. The Most High, he'll get them through the elements. You ain't gotta go build a militia and get Esau ass. Pray for some more of them storms. Pray for some of them fires to break out where the elites stay at. The Most High here, man.
Situation in many parts of the world. The west coast of the United States is on fire, literally. 108 wildfires and counting at this point are burning across 15 states, you see there, and 2.3 million acres, including, of course, California, Montana, Idaho, Oregon, Washington State, Alaska, and Wyoming. Those are the states where some of the biggest wildfires are going on right now. The western United States is dealing and has been dealing for years, decades really, with extreme drought conditions. And particularly over the last couple of years, it's really, really become catastrophic. And when you couple that, the extreme drought with severe heat, it creates a recipe for disaster, as we're seeing. And it's not only a recipe, really, that's cooking here in the United States, but in other parts of the world as well. Siberia, one of the, as we know it, right, coldest places on the earth during the winter that we've seen is or that we all think is desolate and icy. Well, it's on fire too.
Yeah, most High getting Esau from both sides, man. There's got Edomites over there too, just a different house of Esau. As I mentioned in a previous video, got Teman, Amalek, Edom, and so on and so on.
A reported 250 wildfires have been reported in Russia, the worst the country's seen in a century, with some 14.3 million hectares, or about 34 million acres, burning since the start of the year, according to various stats. And also in Greece, right here, as you're seeing, wildfires are raging, including a
not Greece. Come on, man, you can't make this up, man.
Massive one. That's what we're looking at here on the island of Avia, where more than 2,000 people right now, that number...
No, we ain't the Israelites, we the Gentiles.
...continues to grow, have been evacuated, as local officials are desperately calling for more help, battling the fires that have consumed really much of the island. We've been seeing this dramatic video of people, families, men, women, children, getting on ferries to take them to, safe areas, and literally watching their homes, watching the island.
And that's fucking beautiful. That shit look like a scene out of a fucking horror movie, and it's happening to Esau. But look, a person may hear that and that's kind of harsh to say. Man, fuck you. Esau came and did the same shit, burnt down towns, villages, raped women, did all type of stuff. Physically, the Most High getting them with the elements, man. That's a beautiful thing to see.
Consumed, as you can see.
Look at that, yeah, look at it. They say that's insane.
Wildfires, and this is the type of thing we've been seeing out west, including recently, right over the weekend and last week. This is still Greece, but on the west coast in California, these brutal wildfires. That's happening pretty much every year. Well, Greece and Turkey have been fighting devastating fires for nearly 2 weeks as well, as the region deals with the worst heat wave in decades. And speaking of which,
I wouldn't even
the
know
UN climate report was released with some...
I wasn't even going to pull this picture up. I just having to click over this right there. Let me go to the main page on it. Back in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, you can read on down from verse 12. It says, "Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, established a city by iniquity. Behold, is it not of the Lord of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire, and shall be very weary themselves for very vanity?" And you go around and you see Esau, you see these damn devils running around. They be through, man. They got a weak, distraught spirit, and then you see their ass, especially when I be riding in traffic and shit, I be jamming or whatever. And I see Esau ass looking through, like they're just ready to just drive their vehicle off a fucking cliff or something.
Pretty startling information.
And that's beautiful.
About
I love it.
Future. So, with more on this, let's bring in Dr. and author Reese Halter. Thank you, sir, for coming on. So, tell me about this report. What did it say?
Yeah, look what this shirt says. See, they kind of blocking it out, though.
That is so alarming.
Well, good evening, John. I think it's what it didn't say that's really disturbing. Look, I don't care where you go on our planet right now. It is a global climate holocaust. We're losing...
Let's see, Esau trying to block his shirt off.
...billions of our co-partners the animals. John, there's just no question of a doubt. We, humans, need everything else around us.
But see, Esau want to destroy every fucking thing around us and then go fly off to Mars and shit and do it all over again.
Everything else does not need us. When we lose these animals, whether it's a coral reef or whether it's a forest, they cannot function. We're in a crisis of epic proportion, and it boils down to this. How much do we want our GDP to grow? Because every scenario that the IPCC is presenting is an increase in GDP. If the GDP goes up, everything else on planet Earth leaves except procreating humans.
Yeah,
we don't even have a chance.
It's catastrophic.
We don't have a chance in hell to get to mid-century right now, and we might not get to 2040 based on what we're doing.
Absolutely.
This is
what
terrible.
What you're saying, I agree with, and I fear for my daughter, and if she ever gets married and has kids, her children. So we got.
Yeah, they going. Well, he talking about they going into captivity. But his shirt, it says something about God saves or something like that. I was trying to actually get the whole visual of it. But Esau talking about he fear for his daughter and they grandchildren. Yeah, I bet he do. He should fear. That's where they going at. Now, let me pull up a few more precepts real quick. I'm end this up. It says in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 30, it says, "The Lord your power, which the Lord's name is Yahawah." It says, "Who goes before you will fight for you, just as you saw him do for you in Egypt." So certain stuff we're gonna do, like that time in Egypt with the plagues, the locusts, with the frogs, with the death angel passing over and killing the firstborn, with the sea being split, and then collapsing on them damn Hamites. Hey man, worse gonna happen over here though. Man, a lot of people can't see it right now. They think it's a joke. And the same thing the woman asked me, she was like, well, why my grandparents and such and such been asking or saying this and it ain't happened yet? Because it wasn't time for it to happen, then the elect had to be sealed. And that's a long process. But now that the elect is being sealed, let me pull this other precept. You're seeing all this destruction happening because the elect being sealed. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 7. In verse 1, I'm going to pull the whole thing up there because I want to actually read through this. I've been through it before. I want to go through it some more. Now my computer want to act crazy. I've been looking up all type of other shit. They weren't doing this. Now I want to do this. But anyway, it says in the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 1, "And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor the sea, nor any tree. And I saw another angel descending from the east, having the seal of the living power, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of Yahawah in the foreheads." That's been happening. That's why all this destruction taking place. Fires all over. Them angels letting loose. Whatever angel control that's been holding back that fire, you letting that shit loose. Whatever angel been holding back that wind, you letting that wind go. You can't make it up, man. Whatever angel been holding back the elements of the earth with the volcanoes and the earthquakes, hey, that shit been let go. Because guess what? The elect being sealed. And it just goes into it in 144,000. It says in verse 4, "And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel." And at least they know where the tribes are. Now they can't pinpoint who the elect is. That's up to the Most High. But they know where the tribes are. They know we scattered through the whole earth, predominantly over here in Babylon. And I'm going to scroll down to it and go down to verse 9. It says, "After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues stood before the throne." And the reason why, because our people scattered through all the nations. You're going to have some people that speak Latin, you're going to have some people that speak Greek, you have some people that speak Mandarin, you're gonna have some people speak Creole, you're gonna have people that speak regular French, you're gonna have people that speak Dutch, all type of stuff. But they're gonna be of the elect. Now it says, and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes, and psalms in their hands, and cry with a loud voice, saying, salvation to our power, which sitteth upon the throne, and to the Lamb. Now, you have these anti-Christ or anti-Hamashiach that say, oh, the Most High ain't got no son and all this other stuff. But wait a minute. When you read the book of Revelation, they talk about the Lamb, and who else is the Lamb? It says, and all the angels stood round about the throne, and about the elders and the four beasts, and fell before the throne on their faces, and worshipped Yahawah, saying, Amen, blessing and glory, and wisdom, and thanksgiving, and honor, and power, and might be to our power, forever and ever. Amen. It just goes on even more. They'll talk about who are these people or whatever, because they look different. Like this guy right here, he looked like an Edomite, but he can very well be the exact opposite. So it's not a black or white thing. Because the scriptures clearly tell you right here, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds. This man, he definitely like he's from another nation. Now, let me see, let me go to something else. Oh, now that I'm thinking about it, just hit me. Then she asked another question, because I told her about how this place gonna get took out with the arrows or the nukes. She's saying, well, how are we gonna escape? In the book of Mark, chapter 13, it'll let you know how the escape gonna be. And basically, the Most High, from a military standpoint, because the scriptures do talk about arrows, the Most High gonna send his son, Yahawah, back with the angels. Michael behind them with the rest of the angels. They're going to come on a reconnaissance mission. They're going to come wipe Esau ass out, and they're going to come gather the elect, basically. That's what's going to happen. Now it says in Mark chapter 13, verse 27, and then shall he send his angels, and shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from the uttermost part of the earth and the uttermost part of heaven. Because we scattered everywhere. And Lord's will not be able to elect. Because I ain't trying to feel that damn nuke or whatever drop or whatever judgment happen on this land. I'm trying to be in the good graces of the Yahawah. That's why men do this stuff, not to be famous and all the other bullshit. Just to edify and wake up the elect and speed this thing up. And you see the guy talking about 2040. Hey man, hopefully the Most High get us out here way before 2040. Don't you want to rule? Don't you want to be on top? Ain't you tired of Esau taxing your goddamn check every time you get paid and all that? Don't you want to be on top? Let me pull some more precepts in the book of Luke, chapter 18. In verse 7 it says, and shall not Yahawah avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bears long with them? Because people have been crying over the years, asking why we in these conditions. Hey, the answers in the scriptures. The book of Deuteronomy say why we in these conditions and what we supposed to do to get out. It's in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 22. It says, if those days had not been cut short, nobody will be saved. But for the sake of the elect, those days will be cut short. And that's basically what the guy said in the video. We'll run it back one more time.
Whether it's a forest, they can us. When we lose these animals, whether it's a coral reef or whether it's a forest, they cannot function. We're in a crisis of epic proportion, and it boils down to this. How much do we want our GDP to grow? Because every scenario that the IPCC is presenting is an increase in GDP. If the GDP goes up, everything else on planet Earth leaves except procreating humans. Yeah. We don't even have...
See, that's in the scriptures, man. That's why the Most High is speeding stuff up. This month just started. Look, I was just looking at my damn, it's the 1st of August. I mean, it's already the 13th already. It says in the book of Matthew chapter 24, verse 22, it says, if those days had not been cut short, nobody will be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days are cut short. And looking at it, man, that's why you hear people who are like, damn it, time sure flying by. Time flew by this week. This is why, for the elect. So everybody's not going to be delivered from this. Then simultaneously, even though the Most High jacking up these heathens, our people going to get it too. Let's see, let me go to this precept. So the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 8, it says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and done, but the third shall be left therein. And what's going to happen to that third? It's going to be refined. Starting with the men first. All the other nonsense that this society promotes, that's going out the window. Stuff going to get put back in order. It says, and I will bring the third part through the fire and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. Basically getting all the impurities out you, all the other nonsense that you may pay attention to, or indulge in, shifting your focus on what it should be on, strengthening your spirit, your mind, and all that. That's basically how we're going to get refined. And it's been happening. It says, they should call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they should say, Yahawah is my power. Because you got to call on the name. You can't ask somebody for help. You don't call the fucking fire department and talking about send the police, or vice versa. You got a damn fire breaking out. You ain't calling the damn hospital talking about, I got a fire over here. You got to call the fucking fire department. And so on and so on. You ain't calling the plumber to come fix your damn electrical work. You gotta know the name of who you're calling on. You gotta know who you're calling on. Let me pull some more precepts and I'm end this off. It's in the book of Isaiah. Let's see. It's in the book of Isaiah, chapter 48. Let's see the verse I want to start at exactly. Yep, this is right here. Verse 9. I'm going to just read on down and I'll end this up. It says, for my name's sake. What's the Most High's name? It says, will I defer mine anger, and for my praise will I refrain for thee, that I cut thee not off. Because, hey, the Most High really wanted to wipe us the fuck out. But he made a covenant with our forefathers. So, it'll always be a remnant. It'll always be redeemed when we just come back and repopulate, so to speak. It says, behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. For my own sake, even for my own sake, will I do it. For how should my name be polluted, and I will not give glory unto another? Because once these nations around the world see us get risen up, put on the pedestal, we're going to be giving thanks to the Most High, calling on His name, speaking in our actual tongue, not speaking English. But those who like to be simple and be like the Bible translated and all this other stuff. There was a reason for that. We're going to be speaking in our own language. and we're gonna be in a rightful mind, a rightful spirit. That's the ultimate breakdown. So I just wanted to bring this up because somebody asked me a few questions and I happened to see this video online. The Most High avenging us, He making good on His word. You can see around the world. It's gonna turn up as the year go on. So call all y'all, Shalom to the left. Stay alert.